This video is the only closure you're ever going to need, okay? We've all been there where we swear we're over our ex, over the person that did us dirty, but we just keep bringing up to our friends how we just want to know one sentence, that closure of why they did what they did, why they cheated on you, why they left you, why they broke up with you, why they ghosted you. Should I text them again? I just want closure. Spoiler alert. That one sentence that they tell you, it's not going to solve anything. It's not going to do anything. This video, this is what's gonna do something for you. Now, today we're gonna talk about why we freaking crave closure in the first place, why it's overrated, and how you're going to move on without getting the closure that you think you need. What really is closure? You know what I mean? Like when you're saying, I want closure, you don't really want closure. You want them to like realize that they did you wrong and realize that they want you back and realize that they messed up and now they're like realizing it, having this conversation with you. And that's not really what closure is. You think that closure is gonna give you this big wave of just like you're settled and calm and everything's better now and you're moved on and everything's finally okay because you got this one sentence of why they did to you what they did to you. But the reality is say somebody tells you, oh, I broke up with you because I found someone else that I liked. Then you're gonna be like, well, what did they have that I didn't have? Then they're gonna go through a list. Then you're just gonna have question after question of why you didn't fit what they needed and why this new girl does. You're never going to really get every question you have answered. That's not how a breakup works. That's not how anything works in life. Psychologically, humans crave closure. We want that understanding. We want that final conversation with somebody. We wanna know why they did what they did. But what comes with craving this closure and not getting it from that person, say they literally are not talking to you, you're no contact, or someone ghosted you and now you're blowing up their phone. Say someone broke up with you and now you're trying to reach back out to them. All you're doing is going back into your past and really just bringing that negative energy from your past into your present. And that is going to hold you back in the long run. When we sit here and we hold a grudge, because that's really what you're doing, you're holding a grudge on the way the relationship ended. That is really what wanting closure is. You're just holding a grudge. And when we hold a grudge, we're holding that negative energy internally. Psychologically, you're carrying this negative energy and that's going to exert into new aspects of your life. So you're not going to be able to have new relationships. You're not going to be able to accomplish all your dreams, accomplish what you want to. This stress inside of you, that's gonna keep you bloated, keep you holding onto water. You're gonna break out. Stress impacts you in every single part of your life, in your body, in your skin, in your energy. You're gonna be tired all day. And that's stemming from you just wanting closure. This person that broke up with you, this person that did you wrong, whatever it may be that you want closure from so bad. Why do you really want closure from them? What do you really want from them? What do you really want to hear them say? What would they say that would be your ideal outcome? Say you're sitting here and you're like, I want closure from them, and what I really want to hear is A, B, and C. What would that A, B, and C be? I want you to really think about it. Chances are you're not going to sit here and say, I want closure from my ex of why he dated that new girl a day after he broke up with me, because I want to know what I did wrong so I can make myself better. Like, chances are that's not why you want closure. You just want to know why. You just want him to speak to you. You just want him to tell you what he did and why he did it. Like, there's no real reason of why you want it. It's not going to make you better, I promise you. I've gotten closure. I've also not gotten closure. And both ways, I was still the same afterwards. It didn't do anything. Knowing why someone did what they did not change the fact that they did it, okay? I've had friends that did me so wrong, and they straight up told me why they did it. I've literally had someone tell me that they did something out of jealousy. And knowing that that person did something to me that was so mean out of jealousy didn't take away the action that they did, and it did not make me feel any better, even though I thought it would. And I've sat there and I've begged people to tell me why they did what they did to me, and sitting there and begging really just wasted my time and wasted my energy. Why do I want a person in my life that did something so wrong to me? And I want you to think, say you're saying I'm really in love with them and I cannot believe that they did that to me. Were you really in love with them at the end of the relationship? Or did you meet that person twice? So oftentimes in a relationship, when we're first dating someone, they love bomb you or they do all these amazing things to you in the beginning of a relationship. Then as time goes on in the relationship, now you've come to the breakup, right? And you're sitting here saying, I was so in love with this person, I can't believe they did this all to me. But Were you really in love with the person that you were dating at the end of your relationship, or were you just in love with the person they were in the beginning of the relationship? Because so oftentimes those are two different people. And so say if you're thinking, I want closure, you may just want to talk to the person that you originally started dating, the person that you originally knew, that you originally fell in love with. But the reality of it is that person does not exist anymore. That person's a fantasy in your head. They are not there anymore. They changed. Maybe you're young and they just like grew up and developed into a different person, or maybe they just literally turned into a crappy person. Maybe that could be circumstantial. Maybe that is who they were just all along and you couldn't see it because you had I like to call them like love blinders on, where you just cannot see the color red. There's no red flags in the relationship because you're just so infatuated with this person. Maybe they're exactly your type, or they do kind of like everything that you like right away and you're like, oh my God, they're my soulmate. Sometimes we do this and that person was never really our soulmate and we never really knew them. Sometimes you have to see people when they're angry, when they're upset, when they have things going wrong in their life, when they're broke. You have to see them at every aspect, every emotion, every feeling to really know who someone is. So now again, really think, is this person the person that I originally started dating? Or do I want closure from that person that I originally started dating because I was so in love with them? That person that broke up with you, it has to be a different person than you originally started dating, because the person that you originally started dating would never have broken up with you, because all they would tell you is how infatuated they were by you, how much they loved you, how much they adored you, and they would constantly do all these things that you thought, oh my God, this was my person. And they ended up not being your person. So really, ultimately, you were fooled. And that's okay. The point here is why are you craving closure from someone that doesn't deserve to be in your life? You don't need that person in your life. You don't need someone that's giving you this negative energy. Why would you want someone in your life that can make you feel as crappy as you're feeling right now? The harsh reality is you are not getting closure. Actually, you know what your closure is? It's the disrespect. The disrespect that you got, that should be your closure. Knowing that you're never knowing why they did something, that should be your closure. The way they treated you at the end of the relationship that was so crappy, they were so mean to you, they were screaming at you, cursing at you, whatever they were doing, that should be your closure. Why do you want to continue talking to someone that was treating you so poorly? Come on, you are worth so much more than that. What seeking closure most often does is prolonging your emotional pain and having false hope. You're thinking that having that final conversation is going to change something, but nothing's going to change. Wishing that you had that closure, you're just feeling the pain you've been feeling for a longer period of time. And why are you doing that? The harsh truth is that say that person does talk to you and they do want to give you closure and they want to have that final conversation with you, it's never going to give you the relief that you're thinking in your head it's going to give you. If anything, it's probably just going to hurt more to talk to a person that's no longer in love with you, that you were so in love with, to see them in that phase where they really don't have that sort of emotional bond with you anymore. It's probably just gonna hurt you more. You need to just let it go. Now, this might be the most unpopular opinion I've said yet, but closure's very overrated and it's an illusion. Say hypothetically you get this so-called closure. That doesn't take away the pain that you're feeling from a breakup. The pain that you're feeling because someone was in your life for so long, that pain that you're feeling from someone that you felt was so close to you and that was in your life for so long, no longer being in your life, no longer being in your daily routine, no longer being the person that you pick up the phone and call every day. That's what's hurting you. It's hurting because a part of your daily routine is gone. A person that was your best friend that you felt so close to is no longer in your life. That's what's hurting. It's not hurting you that you're not getting closure. You're probably thinking that they're going to fix you, that whatever they say is going to like put the Band-Aid on your heart. No, you have to put the Band-Aid in your heart. If you feel like there's a void in your heart right now from this breakup, you have to pick up the pieces. You have to be the person to do that. The person you broke up with, their closure is not gonna put a Band-Aid on your heart. That hole is still going to be there. And honestly, talking to them is probably just gonna make it bigger. It's probably just gonna make it longer for you to heal. Now that we covered, that you're not gonna get closure and it's all an illusion, let's talk about how you're going to heal without closure, because that's really the root of what you need to worry about now. Number one, you are redirecting your energy now. So you need to redirect your energy into self-growth. And what that might mean for you is you might start working out. You might start taking the workout class that you always wanted to take but you always put off. You might start baking, learning to cook, reading more, listening to podcasts. Maybe you want to become a content creator. Whatever you want to do, now's your opportunity to do it. Nothing propels you forward more than a breakup, honestly. Breakups even though they are so unfortunate and crappy, look at how everyone just like glows up after a breakup. It's because it's a life-changing experience. It really puts things into a whole new perspective for you because your world is changing. And even though it seems like a bad thing in the moment, it really is such a good thing because you're about to have so many new opportunities that never would have came your way without this happening to you. All the time and energy that you spent like putting into your boyfriend or whoever you were dating, that's a lot of time and energy that you can now put into yourself and make yourself an even better person. You'll be happier, you'll feel more fulfilled. There's a lot of things that you can choose to heal your heart with, but talking to your ex is not one of them. You need to accept the unknown. Not knowing why is your closure. The disrespect you got from that person, that is your closure. The way that they treated you at the end of the breakup, that is your closure. You shouldn't need to hear from that person again. You shouldn't need to break no contact. You shouldn't want to talk to your ex. You should not want to talk to a person that could have you sitting here in tears. Why would you want someone in your life that can make you feel so poorly? You are crying because of him. Why would you want to talk to someone that is the reason you're so sad and so hurt and so upset? Leave him, move on. There's so many people that would never treat you this way. And if they saw you crying, if they saw you upset, they would never want you to feel that way. So why are you wasting your time on the one person that doesn't care that you're sad, doesn't care that you're crying? The person you marry, your daughter's gonna grow up and date a person just like her dad. Your son, he's gonna grow up and turn into his dad. So do you want your kids to turn out like that? Do you want your daughter to end up with a man like him? Do you want your son to turn out like him? And if the answer is no, leave him, because your daughter is going to be crying for the same reasons you're crying right now. And honestly, if he's treating you angry and poorly, he's only going to do that to your daughter in the future, and your son's going to turn out like that and do it to you. The cycle is just going to repeat. So break the cycle. Stop doing this to yourself. Giving yourself your own sort of closure is not going to leave you in this emotional loop of, when you get that closure from that person, constantly having more questions of what you've done wrong and what you could have done better. When you just have this sort of closure within and internally, say you journal, say you write down everything, and you really go through and think what you can do better in the future internally. Nothing to do with him, just you on your own. Maybe this experience is going to teach you that you don't need other people's opinions. You don't need to hear what other people have to say. You should feel confident in you and your opinions, and know that what you are thinking in your head is totally valid, and your emotions and what you want to do, that is worth way more than what anyone else tells you that you should do. You should know your worth, and no one else's opinion of you or actions towards you should be able to rock the way that you feel about yourself, because that is how confident you should be in yourself every single day. Your emotions and how you feel should never impact your self-worth. So say if someone does something mean to you, that should never impact knowing that you are you and no one else is you. And that should never impact your self-love. It should never impact the way that you feel internally about yourself. Overall, closure is never going to be something that someone else gives you. It's what you give to yourself. So that is up to you at this point. It's up to you to decide what you want to do with the future, who you want to get in relationships with next, how you don't want to be treated next time, how you do want to be treated next time. Take the things that you've learned from this relationship and carry them into the rest of your life. Carry them into your next relationship, your friendships, carry them into different parts of your life, because every person is a learning experience. We learn things from people. Even if they ended up treating us poorly in the end, they still probably taught you at least one or two things that were positive, or negative things that you can now turn into positive things because you know that you don't want to be treated that way anymore. I love you guys, and there's so many people in your life that love you as well and would not want to see you this way. So let me know your thoughts and opinions. I want to hear it all. Even if you disagree with this, let me know in the comments. I, again, love you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And just remember that healing really does come from within yourself, and someone else's inability to express their love to you, or express any sort of closure to you, or express how they're feeling should never impact the way that you're feeling about yourself and your healing process. So that all starts with you, and I hope that this video helped you in some way to move on and know that you do not need closure from them.